Good evening, everyone. It's Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to another edition of Stampin' Chat Live. I am excited about tonight because I have a fun technique to share with you. And I'm looking at all the comments coming in. We'd like to welcome you from all over the United States and all over the world. It's fun to see people coming in from Canada and some late nighters from Europe. Oh, goodness. Well, today, it was a nice day today, but we're getting ready for an ice storm. So let's say hello to Tom, and we can talk about the ice storm. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
How was your day today?
It was busy.
Busy day?
Very busy, yeah.
Well, we're planning on a big ice storm starting at like 4 in the morning, and it's supposed to be icy all day tomorrow.
I know, that could get ugly.
It could get ugly real fast. So there's a possibility that if it gets really bad, we may not even open tomorrow. We have to see how it is. We want to make sure our staff members stay safe. So we'll let you know in our Facebook group if for any reason our customer service is closed tomorrow because of the weather. I hope you guys are all having nice weather today. I am really excited about tonight's video or tonight's live, because I have a fun technique that I don't think I've ever done before, Tom. And that's saying a lot, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because I have to have 1,000 videos now on my YouTube channel, or pretty close.
At least.
Yeah. So for me to find something that I've never personally done before, I think is really fun. So hopefully you guys will get a kick out of it too. Now it'll work with most stamps, but not all stamps. And I'll explain that to you in just a minute. So let's go over to the overhead and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with a piece of Masking Magic. And you guys know that I am just jazzed about Masking Magic. I use it on just about every single card I make. I can't help it. I love the way it creates that nice border. And so I'm going to do it on this card too. Now I'm going to cut 1/4 inch strips here. So I just want to get that little hair off of there. Now I found an even easier way than trying to look at the numbers up here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you can see this. Okay. So I found a little bit of easier way on my We Are Memory Keepers paper cutter, but I think it would work on just about any paper cutter because most paper cutters have markings on this part of the cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move down each bank of squares. And I find that that is actually the easiest way. I don't know if that's exactly 1/4 inch. I think it's supposed to be. So I'm just moving down, and it makes it really easy to line the whole thing up, just looking top to bottom and making sure it's straight. So I'm cutting 4 strips of the Masking Magic. And look how nice and even they look just by using that grid on my paper cutter. They're just perfect. So if you have like the Tim Holtz cutter, that has a grid on it. I think the Tonic cutter has a bigger grid, like the Big Tonic cutter has a bigger grid. But any of these little cutters, they're just great for that kind of thing. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to take a piece of white cardstock. Oh, I see some of you at 84 degrees. My gosh, Tom, we live in the wrong place, don't we?
We do.
It is too cold here in Wisconsin. Every winter, I just spend days on end, and Tom does too, looking at real estate in Florida and California and all the warm places. And then the summer hits, and we're always like, oh, it's not so bad, right?
Right.
All right, so I'm going to use my my die cutting machine here, and I am going to use Master Layouts 2. I spent a lot of time over the weekend organizing this studio, and I finally got all my master layouts in a bin. I just put them in these pockets, and then I have the little picture of the dies, and I was able to sort them all out. So that just makes me so happy. They were quite a mess. So I'm going to start with the 2 rectangles from Master Layouts 2. And I'm going to use the stitched one to cut out a piece of white cardstock. I want this to have a fancy little edge. Now, if you don't have Master Layouts 2, you can do this. You can do the same exact thing by using a paper cutter and just cut your piece of cardstock 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches, because that's what Master Layouts 2 does. Okay, so I've got my cute little stitched piece here. Now I'm going to cut the other die out of a piece of black cardstock. Surprise, surprise. All right, so we're going to cut the plain rectangle out of this black piece down here. So I know I'm a little off the screen down here, but it makes it easier for me to run this through and it's not banging into everything. Oh my gosh, Karen, it is so much easier to have everything organized. It was getting to the point where I couldn't find anything and I was getting so stressed out trying to do lives, because you guys know I don't put a lot of time into planning for my lives. I kind of like the feeling of just kind of going with the flow. Well, I couldn't go with the flow because I couldn't find anything, and everything I wanted to do was out of my control. All right, so I'm going to put these back into my little, this is a stencil pocket. I probably should use maybe a medium-sized stamp pocket for this since it's a little bit bigger, but that's what I started with, so I'm just going to stick with it for now. Okay. Oh, good, Diana. I'm glad you're liking the black layers. I love it too. It's just, it's so pretty. It just makes everything pop, doesn't it? Okay. Now I'm going to, does this piece of paper look good? Or would it be brighter for you guys if I use a piece of craft? I think sometimes the craft, it shows up better. I think that's better for everybody. So I'm going to do that. And let me zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. You have mosquitoes the size of birds, Lori? I feel like we do in the summer here, though. In Wisconsin, it gets pretty bad.
That's where she's from.
Oh, you're from Wisconsin? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we do. Isn't the mosquito the state bird for Wisconsin? Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to peel these. Now, I showed this the other day. When I peel these, what I do is I just bend this forward toward the liner, and then I take my nail and I just scratch it apart, and it comes apart pretty easily if I do that. Oh, it's great to have you here for a live show. All righty. So I am just putting this across the bottom here. I'm going to go all around the perimeter. You guys know I love doing this. I do this all the time, but it really takes the place of a layer, you know? I mean, you don't have to do that white layer and you get a really cool look out of it. So let's do the next one. So I decided for this, I have to get my head in here. I decided for this that I was going to pull out an old stamp set, a stamp set I haven't used for a really long time, and one that I feel that those of you who have been with me for a while probably have this. This stamp set was released, oh my goodness. Tom, it was released the year that we moved down here to Milwaukee. So what year was that? Like 2013. And I still, see, I pull out old stamp sets. I'm not always about the latest. I like to use the old stuff too. So if you've been with me for a while, this stamp set came out in 2013. If you're new, it's still available. So if you like it, it's in our collection. It's just one of those stamp sets that I think is timeless. I love it so much. I think I need stronger readers. Okay, so I've made my little borders there. And now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pick a color because I want to add a little bit of background here. And I think the color I'm going to use, let me see here. I think I put it away. I did. I want to use sweet corn for this. This is one of those underloved colors. I pull it out more in the fall, but it's such a pretty buttery yellow and it's so nice for spring cards. And I feel like this card is just going to be a fun, bright card. So I'm going to use a little bit of this. Now I could use wild dandelion instead. Maybe I should because I used sweet corn in a little sample I tried. I'm going to use wild dandelion instead. And then I'll show you both and you can tell me which one you like better. Okay. Yes, this is called Masking Magic. It's a masking paper. Let me get it. Here it is. It's a masking paper. It comes in a pack. You get 12 5x7 sheets. So it lasts a really long time. And it's really gentle. It's easy to pull off the paper. It usually doesn't tear the paper. So I really love it. Okay. So I'm going to use my yellow blending brush. I have one blending brush for every color family. So I have like 10 blending brushes that I use. And I do all my yellows with the yellow brush, all my oranges with the orange brush. All right, now I'm going to do my heaviest color around the perimeter here.
So it looks like Bridget has the word of the day.
Bridget has a word?
It's Wisconsin mosquito. Would that be a mosquito?
A mosquito.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. Oh my goodness, Bridget, way to go. Word of the day. So if you're new to our lives, Tom lately has been coming up with the word of the day. And it's kind of like the wrong word of the day. It's a word that's not really a word, but he blends things together and comes up with these crazy combinations like mosquito.
That's great.
That's great.
I will use that.
That will definitely be one. Okay. So you can see I kind of blended mostly around the perimeter and then I went a little bit lighter as I went to the center. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be covering all this up anyway. But we just wanted to have some bright color. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to change up my colors for this from my little trial piece that I did. I'm going to use Tangerine Twist. No, I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to use some Coral Reef. I'm going to use Grass Green, Sweet Mango, and Jelly Bean Green. Okay, so this is going to be my color palette. All right. So I'm going to start with the Sweet Mango. Now, here's the little tip. All right, I'm going to use acrylic blocks for this. I'm not going to use the Misty for this particular card tonight, although I love my Misty. I'm definitely going to use blocks. I want to clean my block here because I've got some stuff on it. And here's the stamp set that I'm going to use. Let me get a piece of white cardstock so you can see this better. Okay, so this is the stamp set. This is called Warm Spring Wishes. I love this stamp set. Look at that butterfly. These butterflies are gorgeous. They're beautiful for bleaching and for embossing. I just love them. And it's got these cute little bird cages and an umbrella. This is a spring set for sure. There's also a coordinating die set that you can get. There's my coordinating die set. And I really like this oval. Although it does not coordinate with our stitched ovals, it does match really nicely. I think it's, let me just see if I can find it. Give me a sec. Works really nicely with this die. This is our elegant oval die. And so it fits in there really nicely. So if you have this particular die, this is a great one for that. And I'm going to use the flowers and leaves. I'm not going to use the other images, but the greetings are warm spring wishes. Congratulations on your new home. That's cute with the little bird cages. There's always a rainbow after the rain. It's got this cute umbrella. Your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly and miss you. And it's just got kind of an eclectic grouping of images. So this is what I'm using tonight. I'm going to use these two flowers and these two leaves. Now, this technique works best with images that aren't too one-sided, if you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is, for example, this flower, although it's not perfectly symmetrical, it's still a center view, where this butterfly would not work with, because this butterfly is side facing. Now, it would work great with this butterfly because this butterfly is very symmetrical, but it wouldn't work so well with this particular image because this particular image is bending off very drastically. So try to find images to do this with that are more center style images, even if they're not perfectly symmetrical. And I'm going to use this one, and the two leaves. Okay. So here's my little fun technique. I'm going to use the stamp itself to create some color, and then I'm going to stamp the stamp on top of the color. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put this stamp with the image side down, and I'm going to use the back of the stamp to stamp. So this is going to give me a blob. But once I stamp all my images, the stamp set is called Warm Spring Wishes. And we do have a lot of them in stock. I checked, so I hate to do it like when we only have like 50 in stock. We have more than 50. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this using the back. This is not the image side. The image is actually sticking to the block, okay? And I'm going to ink this up with some sweet mango. And I'm going to stamp that right in the center of my card, like that, okay? Now, I'm going to stamp two more of these, but I'm going to stamp them kind of off on the corners.
You sure you didn't get that idea from watching me stamp?
Like a mistake? Well, you wouldn't be the first person that put a stamp on the block the wrong way, but usually when you do that, you have some colorful language and then you start over. Now, don't worry if it doesn't go all the way to the edge. Once this is all done, it's going to totally look fine, even if it's not perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp it again down here, just giving it a little extra pressure. And it's okay that it's not perfect. All right, now I'm going to clean it. Everybody's relating to that, Tom. Oh, okay. Right. No mistakes, just happy accidents. I agree. Okay, now I'm going to use some coral reef. And I'm going to use the back of the smaller flower. So I'm putting it image side down onto my block. Tom, Daphne loves your saying, it's better than horrible.
Yeah, how many times do I use that every day?
Oh, a lot. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one right here in this corner. And I'm just giving it a second for the ink to transfer. This way I'm getting a better solid image. If you pull it up too fast and the ink hasn't transferred to the paper, sometimes it's a little more splotchy. We'll get one down here. There we go. And then I'm going to pull in a little bit from up here and a little bit down here. Okay. Like that. Okay. All right. So there we go. Now I've cleaned that. Now I'm going to use these leaves. So I'm going to do two different size leaves, and these are going to be very random. So my first one, I'm going to use some jelly bean green.
Those are different colors for you.
I know, they're really bright, aren't they? And remember, the trick for this is to remember to put it on the wrong way. So, so I've got wild dandelion here, I've got sweet mango, and I have coral reef. Coral reef is very bright and vibrant. It's a little coral kind of red, and that our reds are much deeper than this. Okay, so
I think you should remind people.
Your mic's up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think you should remind people once in a while that you are stamping on the back side.
Yes, I am stamping on the people coming in right now are like, that's the ugliest stamp I ever saw. Hey, Simon Hurley. How are you? Simon and I made a plan that we're going to do a live together again very soon. Okay. I don't know if you've been watching Simon's Instagram stories, but he's been sneak peeking things and it's exciting. Okay, so I've got 2 there. I think I'm just going to stick 1 up here. It's okay if they overlap too. That is not a problem. You can overlap things. Okay. Maybe I'll get 1 down here and I'll overlap it a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to use this smaller one and I'm going to switch to a darker green. Hey, is Michael here from Bruce Monroe? We were talking on the phone today, Michael and I. And he said, I might see it tonight. Okay, so this is the darker green. I'm going to stick that in there. I'll do 1 over here. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. Now I've got a few little areas that I want to fill in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pencil because I really don't have a stamp that I want to use here. So I'm going to just take a pencil and I'm going to ink up some, let's see, I'll do a coral reef one. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm just taking the pencil and I'm just getting it onto the back of the eraser. And I'm just going to do some random dots here. Trying to fill in where I don't see a lot of coral. And even if I do see coral, it's okay. I'll do 1 right here. Here we go. Okay, let's do another color. Let's do, here it is, sweet mango. We'll do a little sweet mango. I know I have a lot of sweet mango, but we'll get it kind of up here. Okay, let's do some greens. We'll do more of the grass green. Put some grass green right here. Just filling in some places. Now, I definitely want to get like some of them going off the edge. So even if they overlap a little, that's okay. I think that looks pretty full. Maybe I'll stick 1 right in there. Okay. All right. So that just adds a little bit of interest. Now comes some more fun. I've got to find my black ink pad. So I've got my black Onyx ink pad here. I know, this is kind of weird, huh? Now we're going to go back and we're going to put those stamps on the block the correct way. And we're going to stamp inside those images. We're not worried about it matching up because it's not going to match up. It's definitely not going to match up. But it's still going to look really cool. So we'll just find a spot and we'll stamp like that. So this is just a fun way to color. I know, no turquoise. Don't worry, I have a sample. I had to try it with something. Okay, so do that there. All right, so we've got those stamped. Now, let's get that smaller one. Okay, inking this up real well. Now, if you're super like crazy about it being perfect, then I would suggest watching my 5-minute card video that I did on Friday, because that's another way you can use the coordinating die set and you can actually cut out the shapes and stencil the ink in. But I kind of like the wonkiness of this. It's just so fun. And I like the way it overlaps in weird spots. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to use the leaves next. And remember, the leaves are kind of going in the opposite direction, but that's okay because they're just curved a little bit, but that makes it more fun because it's wonky. It's just super fun. And then you've got those cool little dots in there. Just flipping this one around. Okay, and one more. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to stamp that last one. One here. And one up here. There we go. Okay. Very whimsical, very bright. Crazy colors for Gina K, that's for sure. And now I'm going to gently peel this masking magic off. Okay. Trying to be good about not throwing stuff on the floor because I have a tendency to just chuck it on the floor when I'm done. Okay. Got a little bit on the edge, but I don't think that's going to matter very much. If you don't have that fancy border, you definitely could just shave it off a little with the paper cutter, but since I have the fancy border, I'm not going to worry about that little bit of yellow. All right. Look how fun that is. Isn't that just fun and bright? So I'll show you, I did this other one in sweet corn, but I think I like the wild dandelion better. This is the one I did with sweet corn. Isn't it kind of washed out compared to this one? So it really does kind of make a difference what you put on the background. Yeah. All right, so let's turn this into a card. And then maybe we'll try another combination. Or maybe I'll do something even a little bit crazier. Let's see. Oh, I don't have to cut this. I already cut one out. Here we go. So we'll make this a fast card and then we'll play a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these two layers together. I know when you first see it, it looks like, I don't know, it definitely looks like a mistake. Looks like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. But it does kind of have a fun look once you get all the black on there. It's very, very summery, springy, fun, bright. Okay. Yeah, and just look through your stamps. And what's great, you can see, I mean, they don't line up. And that's what makes it cute, is that kind of whimsical look about it. So I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock here, and I'm going to cut this just at 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to get my score buddy, and I'm going to score this at the 4¼ inch mark. It just looks like fun fabric or something, you know? It's a little bit, got a little hippie feel to it. Oh my gosh, Linda, yes, it would look so good with the Electropop neon inks. Definitely. Okay. So now we will pop that card. And aren't the little eraser dots fun in there too? Just something different. They just fill it in and add it. Yes, 60s, 70s flower flower child. Flower power. I'm sure in the 70s my mom must have gotten me something to wear that looked like this. Okay. All right, so there is our pretty card. Now, I don't want to do a whole lot to this. So I was digging through my box of things and I found a birthday greeting. And so I can't see it when it's like that. I did cut a piece of vellum to see if that would help. It helps a little, but I really think that you need white behind there to really make it stand out. And I know it does cover up some of that, but I think it'll make a difference. I just feel like that really shows it off nicely. And it adds some white into the center here, and that kind of pulls all of this into it as well. Okay, so I'm going to glue these two together. Let me get my Connect glue. I've got my Connect glue in my little bottle here. Let's just get it started. Okay. So we're making this a birthday card, obviously, because I chose the word birthday because it was in the box already cut. Now you could go back and add sequins into some of these or blend some sequins in there, but I don't even think you have to do that. I think there's so much going on that card that it's totally fine just the way it is. So I'm just adding little tiny dots of Connect glue. I have my Connect glue in one of our fine tip bottles. This way I can really get those dots tiny all over this very skinny little birthday greeting. And I'm just going to glue this to the white piece, and then I'll tape that whole white piece right onto the card. But using the backs of your stamps really opens up a really cool variety of things that you can do, and just pick fun, bright, vivid color combinations. Or, you know, if you're trying to do something a little bit softer, you can use pastels, which would be really pretty. Okay, so let's glue this together. Now I'm going to do it just a little bit at a time. Ooh, I've got something in here that I want to get rid of. There we go. So I'm just going to work my way across this greeting. There we go. Okay. Can't make things up. Yeah, just note cards. It would be really nice to just make a box of these plain, and you don't have to have anything on them. And then you could go ahead and add whatever kind of greeting you want on the inside just by handwriting it. So make a nice gift. Okay, so we'll get this on here. I'm just going to tape it right across the back here. And then I'm going to put this right on here, like that. And now I'm going to need the word happy. So I have the new sentiment strips that were in the new kit, the mixed messages. And I'm going to use one of the happies from Happy Birthday. Let's see if I can find one. Here's Happy Birthday. I'm going to use one of these. So these sentiment strips come in our kits, but they're also available separately. And I think what I'm going to do for this, first I'm going to cut one and get it out of the way of the others. Oh, thank you so much. I would really appreciate that if you would hit the like button. I guess some people will hit the dislike button, but... And also, if you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that. And then hit the notification bell so you never miss being notified. Okay, I'm going to cut happy off of this, and I'll keep birthday for another card. All right, if Michael Boyd is here, Michael, I lost my Brutus Monroe scissors in my cleanup. I don't know where they went, so you have to send me some more. I'll buy them. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off here, and I'll keep birthday for another thing. And then I'm going to turn this kind of into like something that's like kind of like a cone, so that it's yelling happy, like it's yelling through a megaphone. So I'm going to cut it this way. And then I'm going to cut it from this point over like that. And I'll just get this off of here. So it'll be like that. That makes it easier. If you cut it this way, you don't have to worry about getting it perfectly straight. It's my way of cheating. Now I have another little white piece of cardstock here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this. Let me just clean that up a little bit here. All right, so I'm going to tape this right onto this white piece of cardstock, and I'm going to leave a little border just like that. Straight. Yeah, that's straight border. Is that straight? Kind of. All right. And now I'm going to trim like right along the side like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Well, let's do this. I'm going to do the same thing over here. There we go. I think it's a little bit skinnier on that side, so I'll trim a little more off. Okay, so now I'm going to tuck this. I didn't add any tape up here, so I can tuck this coming out of here like that. And I'm just going to tape that right down. Okay. There we go. So there's my finished card. Isn't that fun? I think we have most of our re-inkers in stock. Part of the problem is there's so many supply chain issues that we're having that by the time we finally get the ones in stock to make the complete sets, then another 2 or 3 colors are out. So I would just recommend getting the colors that you need, you know, and don't wait because they do go out of stock and it's taking forever to get them back. Okay, so we still have a little bit of time. Let's make one more background, even though we won't make it into a full card, and we'll try some other colors to see how they look. All right, so this one I'll just cut with my paper cutter. I'm going to cut this one down to 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And this way, if you miss the first one, you'll get to see it again, how to do it. Okay, again, I've got my Masking Magic here, and I'm going to cut this down into 1/4 inch strips. And I'm just using the grid on my paper cutter to move it down 1 set of squares each time. So, Tom, we already have one great word of the day, right? The Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Which is the Wisconsin state bird. The Mosquito.
And the Minnesquito.
And the Minnesquito. Oh my gosh. Yes, Minnesota. You know what it's like. Okay, but I think we need a Tom word of the day. We always need a Tom word of the day. So while I am applying the Masking Magic.
And I think somebody said that the Montana mosquito was the mojito.
Oh my gosh, that's great. The mojito. That's kind of like fruit salad. Yes, we are having a new release next Monday night. Very exciting. I'm going to start sneak peeks pretty soon because we've got some really fun things coming. And a new kit. I know. This kit is I am really excited about this kit. I know I say it all the time, but this is different for me, this next kit. Very different for me. And I think you'll like it. Okay. So, Tom,
Okay.
get into the scene so we can see you while I'm doing this. There you are. So, everybody always asks you for your word of the day. So, I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Do you have a word of the day?
Yes, the word of the day. And someone said the process of putting these words together, there was a name for it, and I forget it. I saw it earlier, just briefly going by.
Well, they're like bad compound words.
There's a name for this kind. It's like a French word, and that was really cool.
Oh, it is? There's a French word?
So the word, this day's word of the day. Okay, so if instead of learning something, you want to learn how to do something, but instead of learning how to do it, you pay somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah.
That would be an insteadcation. Instead, what? Insteaducation.
Insteaducation. Oh my God.
I didn't quite work that one out, but that's what it was. Insteaducation.
Insteaducation. So that's when we call the guy, right? Instead of you watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, you're getting an insteaducation
That's awesome.
by paying somebody.
That's so funny. All right. So now I'm going to ink this up using some sea glass ink. Of course, this is the other color combination that I have to do. I have to try this one. Insteaducation. That's great. You could watch it on YouTube and then instead just call the guy.
Portmanteau.
Oh, that's the word?
I think so. I don't know how to say it. But
So somebody knows.
portmanteau.
Portmanteau?
Is
Oh, portmanteau. Okay. So I've got some sea glass there. Melissa, I don't know. I think Tom lays in bed at night and just thinks, oh my gosh, it's coming up. I have to come up with something. All right, so we're going to do this with turquoise sea, wild lilac, and powder blue, and then a little green. I think these will be fun colors to use. Okay, so I'll do the same layout. I will start with the back of my stamp. So if you're just tuning in, I put the image side down on my block. So I'm using the back of the stamp, and I'm using turquoise sea for this. Yeah, I think this color combination is going to be really pretty. Should I use turquoise sea first? Yeah, what the heck. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yes, this is an older stamp set from way back in 2013. That was one of the things that a lot of you guys said you wanted me to do. You wanted me to pull out some of the oldies but goodies. So this one is from 2013. It's called Warm Spring Wishes. Okay, so there's my turquoise sea. And then I'm going to use the back of the smaller flower, and we'll add a little bit of, we'll add a little powder blue. Powder blue is a very underused color. Okay, get that right in there. Ooh, I love that. Please bring back the popular old ones for the newbies. This was a very popular one. This is a timeless set. Just the greetings and the fonts and everything. There's nothing dated about it at all. I think it's just a beautiful set. Warm Spring Wishes. Now I'm going to use this same flower. I'm going to add a couple wild lilac ones. One here. And one down here, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use grass green and jelly bean green for my two leaves again. So I'll start with, I'll do grass green for the big one this time. Oh, it's so fun, isn't it? So remember, you know, you always have to remember to put your stamp on the block the right way because you get a blotch. This time you want to make sure you put it on the block the wrong way because you want to get a blotch. Yeah, we've got these in stock. We've got a lot of these, I think. I don't know. We should. When I checked it earlier today, because I said I wanted to use this set, they said, no, we've got them. And I saw them. I saw them back on the shelf. Okay, so I'm turning my stamp as I go. I got a little smudge there in grass green, so I will just cover that up right there. And I'll do one more up here. And then I will take that off and I'll use the smaller one with jelly bean. Insteaducation. I like it. It always feels good to call the guy who knows how to do the job, right, Tom?
It's nice when he shows up once in a while.
Sure, I know. Tom's been having trouble getting stuff done around here. Okay, so like I did before, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of purple and my eraser. So I just have a pencil eraser here. And I'm going to add some purple into the areas that don't have purple. So we'll get a dot right there. A dot right here. We'll do a dot over here. It's okay if it's a little weird. All right. So now we'll get some more powder blue in there too. There. And it's okay if you overlap a little bit like that, just to get them, you know, in different spots. Like that. And then let's get some greens in there. We'll just go with the not fresh asparagus, the grass green, because that is the darker one. And we'll just fill in some areas with that. One over here. Here we go. Okay. That's good. That'll be fine. You kind of don't notice them so much once you get the black on there, but you would notice if they weren't there. It would feel a little empty. Okay. I know we're using blue colors. Shocker, huh? Okay, so now I have the stamp on the block the correct way. And I'm going to stamp into my blobs. Ooh, I like that. Let's give a little more of the stamp here. Kind of like that blue dot in there too. I like it. Yeah, I like these colors too. And we're not worrying, we're not trying to line anything up. Okay. Now I've got the smaller one. I'm going to fill in those other areas. Did your hand ever cramp up? Like, and all of a sudden it's like you can't move it? That just happened to me. Just work through it. You can see I am not like, oh my gosh, this isn't perfect. See how it's kind of off on one side? And totally fine. I'm totally fine with it. That's what makes it look adorable and whimsical. All right, we'll get the big leaf. And then we get to peel and reveal. Turn this one. So fun. Just a fun, different way to use your stamps. Get that little one and we're ready. I feel like I'm going to have to turn this card into something, but I might have to do it later. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, Simon and I are going to have a good time doing a live together. We've already chatted about it. I'm very excited. Okay, I'm peeling off the Masking Magic to get that nice crisp edge. Now you see, I have a little bit on the edge, but this one I can trim that off. I couldn't with my fancy stitched edge. And that's just because I can't see very well. I need new readers, and I didn't go right to the edge. But it's hard to tell. You can't see it that bad, right? So there's the blue one. And again, you put that up against a nice piece of black cardstock, and then on a white card base. That's going to be beautiful. Let's do it. We've got a couple minutes here. So I'm going to trim that little edge off, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to take a thin hair off. That's all. And I don't think you even notice that it's not still even, because it's even enough. It's better than horrible. All right, I'm going to cut this down to maybe I'll do a thin hair below 4 7/8 and then 3 5/8. And that should give me the similar look to the master layouts too. And it does. There we go. Okay. And then we are going to need a sheet of cardstock, a white card base. So let me get another piece here because I just cut up that other piece. Oh, this one was fun. So I'm thinking like this one could be we have grateful in shadow. We've got forever in shadow. We've got enjoy in shadow, today in shadow. There's lots of different words that we have that would work well with this. So I'll pick one of those and use it for another style card. Okay. We have love and shadow. All right, let me tape these together. Go. I get very inky when I do this technique though. I had to wash my hands earlier today just because, I don't know, I was getting, you can see I'm kind of inky. I don't have any word of the day, although earlier I did. I was struggling a bit. Okay, so this is the blue tones, and here's the fun, bright yellows, oranges, and coral. And I don't know what I have down here, but look at this mess of stuff that I've made. I don't know if I have a word in shadow ready to go. I don't think I do. Is that any words? That's a butterfly saying.
You need a word of the day.
I do need a word of the day. Our love story is, here's one that I could put on here. I could send that to you, Tom. Here's shine. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of words and things cut out, I guess. Ooh, here's hello. If I had a hello cut out, or I could cut one out and add it, I just have to look for like one more minute. I don't have anything. I think I'll use the hello. And I will not put a fence on the card, I promise. Okay. Let me find that. I know where everything is because I organized it all. So this is from the A Little Hello bundle. This is the layering stencil bundle. And I'm going to just pull the hello out of that because we've got like 6 more minutes. So I can turn this into a card and then we can give 2 away. That's my thought here. I want to give another one away. So somebody's going to get a hello one. Ugh. I know if this was like the last live, I'd be crying because I didn't know where to find anything. So let me get the hello die and we'll get a piece of black cardstock. I'm going to put this black cardstock right on top of that die, blade side up, and we will cut. Tom, you lost the card. I was going to send it to you, but
not the first time.
Alrighty, let's pop this out and we'll glue it together. So, do you guys ever have trouble when you're doing white embossing, getting the embossing to look nice and crisp? I think I've discovered the answer. It's crazy. And I remember years and years ago, there's the hello. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. Years and years ago, I remember stamping with embossing ink and never having a problem. You know, I get a nice crisp greeting. Tell me I'm not alone. And then now I've been struggling and I think I've come up with the issue. I think it's because clear stamps work differently than rubber stamps. And I have not been allowing the ink to transfer long enough. So the ink itself is a little blotchy. So with that in mind, I'm going to try to quickly emboss one of these greetings using the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark ink. All right, so I'm going to get this little stamp set that matches with the hello. And then I will sending a happy. I think I'm going to use that. Sending a happy. Okay. Now let's see if this works, because this is my thought process. I did make a card for the 5-minute card video. I was struggling a little bit, and I was thinking, what is going on? Is it me? It's got to be me. It must be me. I don't think it is. It might be, but I don't think it is. So I'm using the Embossing Magic Pad, which is my favorite way to remove static. This thing is the bomb. Okay. I almost put it in my Gamsol. And then I've got my heat tool over here, my Wagner heat tool. Now I'm going to ink up this stamp really well. We'll see. I mean, I might be all wrong here, but we'll see what happens. So I'm inking that up with some Embossing and Watermark ink. And I'm going to stamp it. And I'm holding it there for a minute. See, I'm holding it. Okay. Now I feel like this is going to look better. We'll see. A lot of feeling here. Okay. I need a brush. It's easier to brush away the excess than it is to try to scrape it off with a knife later. And I'm just blowing on it lightly. I don't want to blow all the powder off. We'll see how this looks. Also, what I learned the other night is to not just do one, even though I just did one this time, to not just do one, but to do two. Like maybe I should just do another one here at the bottom just to be safe. Because then, you know, you've got that backup if the first one didn't work. I'm just giving it a second. Yeah, I feel like it inks better when you just wait a second. I'm in such a hurry all the time. So you have to try that and let me know if you get better results. Because I learned to stamp with rubber stamps. And I know a lot of you are like me. You learned back when we were cutting sheets of rubber out of Stampin' Up! Stamps. We were cutting our own stamps out. And rubber transfers differently. It transfers instantly. And clear, you need to give it a second to transfer the ink. So I think this is going to be better. All right. Let's see what happens. I think this bottom one's even better. Let me heat it up first. I'm going to heat this for just a second without actually embossing because I want the heat tool. I use the Wagner heat tool, and I want it to just get hot so that my cardstock doesn't warp too much. Oh, look at that. I'm going to zoom in here. I don't know how close I can zoom. I'm going to try. Tom, tell me if it gets too blurry. Is that too blurry?
That's perfect.
Look at how nice that is. So seriously, I think that just giving it a second to transfer and not being in such a rush has made my embossing better. And if you struggle, just give that a try and see if that works for you. Definitely seems better for me lately. Okay, so I just saw a comment that said do it vertical this time. So you want like the hello down here. Okay, we'll do this one vertical. So all I have to do is cut that out and then glue those greetings together. So I have 1 minute. I think I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm going to use my Sentiment Strips dies. We'll use this one here. I know I have extra ones because I found one laying on the floor in the hall and I couldn't just let it go off to die. So I added it into my collection so that someday when I throw one out by accident, I'll have a backup. Because nobody's ever done that before, right? Oh, my word. Okay, and I am going to tape it down with a little bit of washi tape just to make sure that it doesn't move. And then, Tom, we're going to have 2 cards to give away tonight. Isn't that exciting?
It is.
All right. So, could be a little better if I had cleaned it up a little better. But I think it's going to be okay. So I'm taping this down with washi. And then I'm going to cut it. Ugh. I like the blue one too. Yeah, it's easier to remember all the things I want to tell you when I'm live as opposed to when I pre-record. And I know it seems like it should be the opposite, but stuff, you know, it's like a... What do they call that, Tom? Where you just, your thoughts are just kind of coming out of your mouth?
Definitely.
Come on, you're the word guy. All right. Let's use some Connect glue and we'll pop this up together. And then this is it. Spontaneous? Yes.
Speaking of spontaneous.
That's a good one. Spontaneous. Now what did I do? Spontaneous. I was like train of thought, but that's not what I'm thinking. You know, where it's going right out of your brain and into your mouth and out your voice. I haven't had anything to drink, I promise. If I remember the word in 2:00 in the morning, I'm going to wake up and go on the Facebook group and post what I was trying to say tonight during the live. And you guys all go, oh, yeah.
So if you have kids in the other room playing and you hear a loud sound, and one of them comes out to tell you what happened, what do you call that little child?
I don't know.
The messenger. Right?
Oh, man. See, you have that too. Stuff just keeps coming. All right. There we go. All right. We got the hello put together. And then we'll pop that on here at the bottom. And then we'll just do sending a happy right up top. Okay. We know what this layout's going to look like. Now it's time to give away some cards. So while Tom is doing that with his drum roll, I will just pop this together.
They look spectacular.
Yeah, you like them?
Mm-hmm. Just fun.
Put that right in the middle like that. And then we could pop that up with some foam squares. I even put all my foam squares in a thing. I'm so proud of my cleanup effort here. You didn't see me for like a whole day, Tom, did you?
No, I did not see you.
Was that good? Or
don't see me.
Is that good or bad? Okay. I'm using black foam squares for this.
Huga.
So which one you guys like better? You like the blues or you like the bright colors, the reds? The reds and oranges. All right. Here we go. Sending a happy hello and happy birthday. So there, you like them both? Okay. So there's my finished cards.
Okay.
Oh, we got a second one out of it. All right.
Cheesy drum roll.
Yeah, cheesy drum roll. Let's do it. All right.
All right, we have winners.
We have
The
winners.
first winner, the winner of the first card, would that be the
That will be this one here, the first card we made.
the fruit salad card
The fruit
goes
salad.
to Helen C. Downey.
Hey, Helen! Yay! Congratulations. Hey, Tom, you should put us in the scene so we can see everybody. There we go.
All
My
right.
hair's going in all different directions right now. I'm sweating.
Card number 2.
Card number 2.
Card number 2 goes to Sharon C. Travis Taylor.
Woo! All right, Sharon. Congratulations. All right, my friends. Well, all you two have to do is send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com and either say you won we'll call this the yellow card or the blue card, and I will get those right out to you. All right, you guys. Well, this was super fun. I hope you guys had a great time tonight. I sure did. Tom and I will be back on Wednesday for another Crafternoon. That starts at noon Central Time. And then I'll be back at the end of the week with another 5-minute card video or 5-minute technique video. And then we do have a new release next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'll be joined by some of our illustrators, and we'll be releasing some new stamps and dies and a brand new kit. All right, everybody. Well, if you're anywhere in the ice storm coming, stay safe, and the rest of you stay safe as well. Stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.